Hello and welcome back to the Whiskey Closet. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Kevin and tonight we're doing what we always do, tasting some whiskey in a closet. Let's go. Okay, it's another blind tasting. I love these blinds. You learn so much from a blind. I don't know what's in these glasses. I'm going to taste them. I'm going to see if I like one versus the other. I'm going to give some notes, which are probably wrong. Have you watched any of the other videos? I don't know. Let's go. Okay. Ooh, hello. It's got kind of a magic markery smell going a little bit. Oh, but there's some like berry notes over it. Oh, I think it's starting to open up a little bit now. This might need a little bit of time. I'm going to taste it. Wow. Whoa. Hello. Hello. It's still going. Things are still happening. Wow. Ooh. Oh, we've got ourselves a journey bourbon here. It has some significant barrel spice on the finish. Spice. Oh. Wow. 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 You don't need any more tasting notes than that, right? If I get further into it, I'm acclimating to the alcohol impact that I was getting. Instead of magic marker, now I'm getting more leather and tobacco. Wow. That lasts. It doesn't change. It starts smooth and light. I think I'm picking up on a lot of rye, and it blossoms from that. It just explodes. It just grows and grows and grows. It's like someone dropped a nuclear bomb and that mushroom cloud is growing over the disaster of a city. Horrible analogy. What? What? Awful. Oh God, don't publish that. Terrible. But it does that. It grows out and all of these spicy impacts happen and the barrel starts to bloom and you get this lovely spice. And then it finishes with this, I'm saying leather. I'm thinking I'm getting more leather than tobacco. This long leather finish. And above all of that, there's a little hint of a herbal grain impact that keeps it grounded, but it is on the herbal end of that spectrum. Whatever the heck this is, it's a very interesting, very nice bourbon. I think we better move on to Glass B. Cheers, Internet. Hello. That's totally different. Wow. So, we've got some really nice color again. Why is this making me think Four Roses? Oh, there is a depth. Oh, no. None of that magic markery thing. Oh, the baking spices. Oh. 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 Game over. We have a winner. Do not pass go. Do not receive $200. Again with the rye, but now we're talking spicy rye. Oh my gosh, that's killer. Oh, oh, it starts with that honeyed sweetness. And then I think it's proofier maybe than the first glass was. But the proof is that classic thing coupled to the barrel spice, and it just goes, and oh my goodness does it, and it turns into this caramel leathered tobacco. Oh, and the nose is so nice too. Oh my gosh, the baking spices on this nose are to die for. The way the honey and the rye spice blends together and creates this really interesting combination. The way the barrel impact introduces that spice and balances all that sweetness with that astringent spice. It's a journey. It feels very special. It really does. As usual, now I'm going to bounce back to A. I'm going to see if the experience of B changes the experience of A. Oh, did it change the experience of A? A smells amazing now. It changed the experience of A. Where A was giving me some magic marker ethanol vibes I wasn't into previously, that is gone now. I don't know how to describe what I'm getting out of this now, but I like it. Huh, interesting. That tastes like rye now. A little floral with spice, but more earthy, more floral. The palate of that is not doing it for me anymore. Fascinating. An amazing thing can happen when you try two bourbons side by side. I really do think the best way to learn about a bourbon is to compare it to another bourbon. When you try a bourbon on its own, that's a vacuum. If you're like me and you're a beginner and you're terrible at this, you don't know what you're doing. When you take something like this and you put it next to something like this, they're different. Now you have something to compare to, and you can pick out those differences between the two things and start to really learn a lot. That's why I love to do these heads-up blind tastings. And right now, what that has done is it has made Glass A not my favorite. I still like the nose, but the palate is hitting harsh, and it's hitting with this herbaceous thing that is just not my thing. I'll tell you what, though. It may not be my thing, but it goes long. Man, that's fascinating. Let's go back to B. Make sure things haven't changed. Those baking spices. Goodness. All right, here's the thing. Neither of these are what you would call easy sipping. They're both very complex. They're both bringing proof, bringing spice. They're bringing a certain amount of, I don't know if astringency is the right word, but we're in that space. Both of them are doing that. But B is the winner. I wonder what it is. Let's find out. We've got ourselves here 10Y and 10X. Let me go see. Man, these blind tastings never fail to be surprising and fascinating. And I mean, downright just mind-blowing in this case. What we had here was in Glass A, and I might say this was a pretty big upset. Bardstown Bourbon Company Discovery Series number 6. Bardstown is a little bit of a darling of the bourbon industry at the moment. Discovery 6 is a 68% Kentucky 11-year-old, which was 75% corn, 13% rye, and 12% malted barley. A 16% Tennessee 17-year-old, corn 84%, rye 8, and malted barley 8. And a 16% Indiana 7-year, corn 75%, rye 21%, and malted barley 4%. That's Bardstown Discovery Series number 6. I was thrilled when I found this bottle on a shelf. And yet it lost to Heaven's Door Cask Strength. This is a straight bourbon whiskey. It's bottle number 140 or something. Barrel number 263. It's 113.54 proof as compared to 111.1 proof. Wow, we have a mash bill. It's 75% corn, 21% rye, and 4% malt distilled in Indiana. Rick level 1, 202-1. Cooperage ISC, char number 3, toast, medium. Our annual single barrel bourbon limited allocation is comprised both of our own distilled barrels and sourced from partnering whiskey makers. A big conversation amongst bourbon connoisseurs and bourbon enthusiasts such as myself is the impact of age. And what we had here was an 11-year, 17-year, and 7-year combined, with the 11-year being 68% of the mash bill in the Bardstown, compared to a 6-year, 5 months aged bourbon in the Heaven's Door. Sometimes age isn't everything. Both of these are very special picks. Both of these are long freaking gone. If you have your hands on one of these, let me know. I'd be amazed to know what your experience has been if you have one of these. The Bardstown was probably way more available. The Heaven's Door, on the other hand, was a single barrel pick from the Rochester Elite Barrel Pickers. I'm not a member of the Rochester Elite Barrel Pickers, but I have a friend who's a member of the Rochester Elite Barrel Pickers, and I occasionally get a bottle from him. This particular head-to-head was in my blind pairings as favorites, maybe? I really did think when I prepared these going head to head, I really thought the Bardstown was going to win. The fact that the Heaven's Door won, and like by a mile, is so interesting to me. I don't know why. When I first tasted this Heaven's Door, I was over the moon for it. It absolutely knocked my socks off. I couldn't believe how good it was. And then over time, I started to kind of sour on it. And I was like, I don't know why. But when I would taste it, some nights I was, it wasn't really, I don't know, it wasn't really doing it for me. But there you go. Heads up with the Bardstown. It won heads and shoulders above. Just an amazing bourbon. This has been another episode of the Whiskey Closet. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you again next time. Goodbye.